Have you ever been consumed by the searing pain of betrayal, a wound so deep it felt like a permanent scar on your soul? It wasn't merely the act of being wronged, but the unnerving silence that followed, the absence of justice, the gnawing feeling that those responsible might never face the consequences of their actions. Perhaps you've spent countless nights staring into the darkness, replaying those painful moments, endlessly questioning, why me? Why does it seem like they're thriving, while I'm suffocating under the weight of their deeds? These questions echo in the hearts of so many, yet the answers often remain elusive, shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. We yearn for understanding, for resolution, for a sense that our suffering has meaning. But what if I told you there is a grander design at work, a cosmic tapestry woven with threads of intention and accountability, ensuring that every action, every thought, and every intention is ultimately accounted for? What if you could truly grasp that the pain you carry is not dismissed or ignored, but observed and understood by an infinite and loving power, a force that moves in ways we often cannot perceive? Imagine a justice so pure, so unwavering, that it transcends the limitations of human comprehension, a justice that doesn't rush but never fails, a justice that sees beyond the surface, delving into the depths of intent and consequence. Could it be that your suffering is not in vain, not a random act of cruelty, but a vital component of a divine orchestration, a series of events designed to set things right, not just for you, but for the world around you? Let me ask you, how do you truly define justice? Is it merely seeing those who have wronged you face a dramatic downfall, public humiliation that satisfies your sense of retribution? Is it the immediate restoration of everything that was taken from you, a swift and complete reversal of fortune? Or is it something far deeper, something that aligns not just with fairness but with a purpose so profound that it transforms you in the process, molding you into a stronger, more compassionate, and more resilient version of yourself? Often, we expect justice to arrive with the speed and force of a lightning strike, instantly punishing our oppressors and delivering immediate gratification. But divine justice is rarely about spectacle or instant gratification. It is about truth, about uncovering the hidden realities that lie beneath the surface. It is not rushed because it is eternal, operating on a timescale far beyond our limited perception. And it is not partial or biased because it is perfect, encompassing all actions, all intentions, and all consequences. Consider, for a moment, moments in your life when you felt as though the universe itself had conspired against you, when everything seemed to be collapsing around you. Perhaps someone spread lies about you, damaging your reputation and your relationships. Perhaps someone intentionally caused you emotional or physical harm, leaving you with scars that seemed impossible to heal. Perhaps someone simply abandoned you, leaving you to navigate a world that suddenly felt cold and unkind, utterly devoid of compassion. And yet, despite the darkness, you survived. You found strength you never knew you possessed. You discovered reserves of resilience you didn't realize were there. You grew in ways that would never have been possible without the trials you endured, without the challenges that pushed you to your limits. Could it be that, even in those moments of utter despair, justice was already unfolding, not just for those who wronged you, but, more importantly, for you? Imagine a vast tapestry being woven, thread by thread, with each thread representing a life, a choice, an action. From your limited perspective, standing so close to the loom, it may appear to be nothing more than a chaotic mess of tangled threads, with no discernible pattern or purpose. But from above, from a vantage point that encompasses the entire design, there is order, there is beauty, there is intention. Each thread plays a vital role in creating the overall masterpiece, even the threads that appear dark or broken. The same is true of the justice that governs our lives. We see only fragments of the picture, isolated moments of pain or triumph, and, in our limited perspective, it can often feel as though nothing is happening, as though those who have hurt us are prospering while we are left in ruins. But trust this, the threads are being pulled together, the design is taking shape, the pattern is slowly emerging. You are not forgotten. Your tears are not unseen. And your suffering has a purpose, even if you cannot yet understand it. Let me ask you another question. What do you truly believe happens to those who intentionally harm others? Do you think they simply escape the consequences of their actions because you don't see them suffering publicly? Do you believe that they can continue to inflict pain on others without ever facing any repercussions for their deeds? Or do you believe that there is an unseen force, cosmic balance, a universal law, that ensures every action, no matter how hidden, has a corresponding reaction. The laws of the universe are unyielding. They operate with unwavering precision, regardless of our awareness or understanding. You reap what you sow. What is given in malice will return in kind. This is not a curse, a threat, or a vengeful declaration. It is a simple truth, as old as time itself, a fundamental principle that governs all of existence. Every action, every thought, every intention sends out ripples into the universe, and those ripples will inevitably return to their source. And yet, this justice does not require your hands to act, your energy to fuel it, or your efforts to orchestrate it. Divine justice operates beyond our need for control, our desire for immediate gratification, and our limited understanding of cause and effect. It is not yours to deliver, to enforce, or to manipulate. For if it were, it would weigh your soul down with the unbearable burden of vengeance, consuming you with bitterness and preventing you from moving forward on your own path. Instead, you are invited to release, to trust, and to let go, knowing that the one who created all things is also the one who sets all things right, the one who sees beyond the surface, and the one who understands the intricate workings of the universe. This is not an invitation to weakness, to passivity, or to indifference. It is a call to faith, a call to surrender, and a call to recognize that there are forces at work far beyond our comprehension. Now, consider the moments in your life when you have witnessed this justice unfold, perhaps in subtle ways, perhaps in dramatic ways, perhaps in ways you didn't even recognize at the time. Perhaps you were too consumed by your own pain, too focused on your own struggles, to notice the subtle ways the scales were being balanced, the quiet shifts that were occurring behind the scenes. Perhaps you didn't see the sudden fall from grace for someone who seemed untouchable, the exposure of a lie that had once been widely believed, or the quiet unraveling of their carefully constructed plans. These are not mere coincidences. They are reminders, subtle signs that the universe is always working to restore balance, to bring truth to light, and to ensure that no action goes without consequence. They are glimpses into the intricate workings of divine justice, a system that operates with unwavering precision, regardless of our awareness or understanding. And what about you? Have you not been transformed by the very pain they caused? Have you not risen stronger, more compassionate, more aware, and more resilient than you ever thought possible? Could it be that their actions, though intended to harm you, were ultimately used to mold you into something greater, to shape you into the person you were always meant to be? This is the paradox of divine justice. It doesn't just punish the wrongdoer, it elevates the one who was wronged. It uses the very tools of oppression to create strength, resilience, and wisdom. It transforms pain into purpose and suffering into growth. It is a system that operates not just on the level of action and consequence, but on the level of transformation and evolution. So, how do you recognize when this justice is at work in your life? How do you see the signs that the one who holds the stars in place is also moving on your behalf, orchestrating events, shifting circumstances, and guiding you towards a brighter future? How do you discern the whispers of divine justice amidst the noise and chaos of everyday life? Open your heart, quiet your mind, and listen closely, for what I am about to share may shift your perspective forever. These signs are not just assurances that justice is coming, they are revelations that justice is already unfolding, that the wheels are already in motion, and that the universe is working on your behalf, even when you cannot see it. These signs may challenge you, comfort you, and inspire you. But above all, they will remind you of one unshakable truth: justice belongs to God, and it never fails. It may be delayed, it may be mysterious, but it is always present, always active, and always working to restore balance and bring about ultimate good. The path to recognizing divine justice is a journey of faith, a journey of trust, and a journey of surrender. It requires letting go of the need for control, embracing the unknown, and believing that there is a greater plan at work, even when the path ahead seems dark and uncertain. As you embark on this journey, remember that you are not alone. You are surrounded by a loving presence that guides you, supports you, and protects you every step of the way. Let's delve deeper into these subtle yet profound indicators of divine justice at play in your life. Unexplainable setbacks befall them. Have you ever observed how life, in its intricate dance of cause and effect, delivers consequences in the most unexpected and often undetectable ways? It's as though a hidden force governs the very fabric of the universe, ensuring that every action, from the smallest kindness to the most egregious offense, carries an equal and opposite reaction. This universal principle isn't about doling out punishment, it's about maintaining the delicate equilibrium that sustains all of existence. When someone has consciously and intentionally wronged you, whether through acts of betrayal, calculated deceit, or sheer cruelty, it may initially seem as though they have somehow managed to evade any repercussions, gliding through life unscathed and untouched by the consequences of their actions. They might even appear to prosper, flaunting their superficial successes as if their harmful deeds have no bearing on their well-being. However, life, much like a perfectly calibrated scale, possesses an innate ability to self-correct, restoring balance in ways that aren't always immediately visible or easily comprehended. These adjustments often manifest as a series of unexplainable setbacks, subtle disruptions that begin to unravel the carefully constructed facade of their success. Those who deliberately inflict harm upon others, driven by selfish ambition or malicious intent, invariably sow seeds of chaos and disruption within their own lives. It's a fundamental law of nature: what you send out into the world eventually returns to you, often amplified and transformed. While they may initially revel in the destruction they've wrought, basking in the illusion of their triumph, they often overlook a crucial detail: their hands are stained with the very same poison they intended to inflict upon others. This metaphorical poison seeps into their own metaphorical soil, contaminating their ventures, their relationships, and their overall sense of well-being. Over time, the unexplainable setbacks they begin to encounter, unforeseen financial troubles, sudden career reversals, broken relationships, or unexpected losses, are simply the inevitable harvest of the seeds they themselves so carelessly scattered. These setbacks rarely arrive with dramatic fanfare or earth-shattering announcements. Instead, they often manifest in subtle, almost imperceptible ways, appearing as a series of minor inconveniences or unfortunate circumstances. Perhaps their once unshakable confidence begins to waver, eroded by self-doubt and uncertainty. Or their previously thriving business ventures inexplicably begin to falter, plagued by unforeseen problems and dwindling profits. Perhaps previously solid friendships erode and fracture, replaced by isolation and mistrust. While each incident might seem like a random stroke of bad luck, a closer examination reveals a recurring pattern, a subtle but undeniable connection between their past actions and their present misfortunes. The series of missed opportunities, lost deals, strained relationships, and health issues unveils that their past behavior has set off a chain of events beyond their control. This phenomenon isn't about external forces actively punishing them, it's about the inherent dynamics of cause and effect. Life thrives on principles of balance, reciprocity, and harmony. When someone acts with malice, dishonesty, or a complete disregard for the well-being of others, they disrupt this natural order, creating an imbalance that must eventually be rectified. The setbacks they experience are simply the universe's way of restoring this equilibrium, bringing their actions into alignment with the natural flow of life. Moreover, consider the immense amount of energy required to actively harm others. Every lie told, every betrayal enacted, and every malicious act committed demands an immense amount of effort, mental energy, and emotional investment. This energy creates tension, stress, and instability not only in the lives of their victims but also in their own. This negative energy doesn't simply vanish into thin air, it lingers, casting a dark shadow that follows them wherever they go, subtly undermining their efforts and poisoning their relationships. Over time, this accumulation of negative energy can manifest in various ways, from increased anxiety and stress to physical ailments and strained relationships. Their misguided efforts to inflict pain on others ultimately become the foundation of their own downfall, as the very energy they invested in negativity boomerangs back upon them. Interestingly, unexplainable setbacks can also serve as a form of awakening, a wake-up call that jolts them out of their self-centered complacency and forces them to confront the consequences of their actions. These moments offer them a chance to reflect on the harm they've caused and to recognize the undeniable connection between their behavior and their misfortunes. They might begin to understand that their setbacks aren't random occurrences but direct reflections of how they've treated others. However, it's essential to recognize that this moment of clarity isn't always guaranteed. Many individuals, blinded by their own ego and unwillingness to accept responsibility, continue to deflect blame, attributing their problems to external circumstances and failing to see the connection between their actions and their subsequent challenges. But whether they acknowledge it or not, the setbacks persist, subtly eroding their confidence, unraveling their plans, and reminding them that they are not as immune to consequence as they once believed. It's also crucial to understand that these setbacks often target the very areas of life where they feel most secure and confident. If their identity and self-worth are primarily based on their wealth and material possessions, they might experience unexpected financial struggles or significant business losses. If their sense of importance is derived from their relationships, they might find themselves isolated, betrayed, or abandoned by those they once trusted implicitly. Life, in its profound wisdom, has a way of targeting the very foundations upon which they built their sense of superiority, forcing them to confront the inherent fragility of their position. These setbacks are not orchestrated or driven by your actions or intentions. They unfold naturally as part of the universal balance, a testament to the inherent interconnectedness of all things. The remarkable beauty of this principle is that it frees you from the burden of seeking retribution or dwelling on their actions. While they grapple with the fallout of their past choices, you are free to focus on your own healing, growth, and progress. Their setbacks serve as a potent reminder that no one can ultimately escape the consequences of their actions, even when justice seems delayed or obscured. The setbacks may appear unconnected at first glance, but they are intricate threads woven into a larger tapestry, a tapestry created by the natural laws of cause and effect. When you witness someone who has deliberately wronged you encountering a series of unexplainable setbacks, it is not an occasion for you to gloat or celebrate their misfortune. Instead, it is a sign that life is operating as it should, restoring the balance disrupted by their actions and reminding them that their actions have consequences. This isn't about personal revenge, it's about universal equilibrium. Their setbacks are not your direct concern, but they serve as a powerful reminder that justice operates quietly, methodically, and inevitably. They lose the power they once held over you. Power, in its various forms, is a complex and often elusive force. It can manifest as the emotional sway someone holds over your feelings and thoughts, the degree of influence they wield in a shared environment, or even the ability to dictate the course of your life through control, manipulation, or intimidation. When someone has deliberately wronged you, this power can feel particularly oppressive, as though they've established a tight grip on your peace of mind, your sense of self-worth, and your ability to live authentically. However, life is not a static entity. It is a constantly evolving process, and it has a way of fundamentally shifting these power dynamics over time. You might gradually notice that their hold over you begins to weaken, their ability to influence you diminishes, and their words and actions no longer evoke the same degree of fear or anxiety. This gradual decline in their power is a profound indication that the balance is shifting, and that the harm they inflicted upon you is being addressed in ways you may not immediately understand. When someone loses the power they once held over you, it doesn't usually happen abruptly or with a great deal of fanfare. More often than not, it's a quiet unraveling, a gradual erosion of their influence that occurs over time. What once appeared to be an insurmountable force, a seemingly unbreakable hold over your thoughts and emotions, begins to diminish in strength. Their capacity to intimidate or control you gradually fades. Perhaps you begin to notice that their words no longer carry the same weight. Their cutting remarks or manipulative tactics no longer elicit the same emotional response. Their attempts to provoke or upset you fall flat. This shift isn't just about their power diminishing, it's about your inner strength and resilience growing, enabling you to resist their attempts to control you. The waning of their power is intrinsically linked to your personal growth and transformation. As you reclaim your sense of self-worth, assert your boundaries, and cultivate inner peace, their ability to influence you weakens correspondingly, exposing the inherent fragility of their control. This loss of power can also manifest in external circumstances, subtly altering the dynamic between you and the person who wronged you. Perhaps their sphere of influence within your shared environment, be it at work, in a social circle, or within a family setting, begins to diminish. Others, who were once swayed by their charm or intimidated by their position, begin to see through their facade, recognizing their true intentions. The alliances they once relied on crumble, and the support they once enjoyed gradually dissipates. Their actions, once shielded by their position of authority or influence, are now laid bare for others to see, revealing the underlying self-serving motives that drove their behavior. The power they once held is no longer a weapon they can effectively wield, it's a blunt instrument, increasingly ineffective at achieving their desired outcomes. It's important to emphasize that this loss of power is rarely something you actively orchestrate or deliberately cause. It happens organically, as a direct consequence of their own actions and choices. Those who rely on manipulation, deception, or intentional harm to maintain control are ultimately setting the stage for their own eventual downfall. Their inherent inability to act with integrity creates subtle cracks in the foundation of their influence, and these cracks gradually widen over time, causing their power to collapse under its own weight. This shift in power is also intrinsically tied to your personal healing journey. As you process the hurt they caused, challenge the false beliefs they imposed, and rebuild your sense of self-worth, you begin to see them more clearly, recognizing their flaws, their insecurities, and their limitations. Their actions, which once seemed so overwhelming and devastating, begin to lose their impact as you regain perspective. The fear or resentment they once instilled in you gives way to a sense of empowerment, as you realize that their power over you was never as absolute as it appeared. You no longer perceive them as an insurmountable force in your life, but as a flawed individual whose attempts to control you were ultimately unsuccessful. In certain cases, the loss of power is accompanied by a sense of public exposure. Their true nature, previously concealed behind a carefully constructed facade, becomes increasingly evident to those around them, stripping away the illusions they used to maintain control. This exposure might not be a grand, dramatic unveiling, but rather a series of subtle observations that lead others to question their motives or notice inconsistencies in their behavior. As the truth gradually comes to light, the influence they once held over others diminishes further, isolating them and significantly reducing their ability to cause additional harm. But perhaps the most significant aspect of this loss of power is the profound sense of liberation it brings to you. When someone loses their grip on you, it's not just a sign of their decline, it's a testament to your own resilience and inner strength. Their loss becomes your gain, not in a competitive or vengeful way, but in the sense that you have successfully reclaimed your autonomy, your peace of mind, and your inherent power. You've risen above their attempts to diminish you and, in doing so, you've shifted the balance of power in your favor. Losing the ability to control or harm someone they've wronged is a natural and inevitable consequence for those who engage in such behavior. It serves as a potent reminder that control gained through manipulation, deception, or cruelty is inherently fragile and ultimately unsustainable. While their power gradually diminishes, your inner strength grows exponentially. Their loss becomes your freedom, allowing you to move forward unburdened by their lingering influence and limiting beliefs. This isn't just a sign of justice prevailing, it's a powerful indication of your triumph over the darkness they attempted to impose upon you. You've successfully broken free from their grip, reclaimed your inner peace, and set yourself on a path towards healing, growth, and fulfillment. Your pain transforms into peace. Pain, in its myriad forms, has a way of insinuating itself into our lives, often uninvited and lingering far longer than we would ever wish. When someone has wronged you, especially through acts of betrayal or intentional harm, the initial wave of pain can be overwhelming, like a crushing weight pressing down on your chest, robbing you of your ability to breathe freely and think clearly. It might dominate your thoughts, seep into your emotions, and cast a dark shadow over your entire perspective of the world. The intensity of this pain can make it seem as though it will never end, as though you are destined to carry this burden forever. However, life is inherently cyclical, a constant process of change and transformation. There comes a moment, often unexpected and unannounced, when that initial wave of pain begins to subside, to shift, and to make room for something else to take its place. It doesn't vanish entirely in an instant, like a magical spell being cast, but it starts to loosen its tenacious grip, allowing a glimmer of light to penetrate the darkness. That something else that begins to emerge is peace, a sense of calm and tranquility that gradually replaces the turmoil and anguish. This transformation, the gradual conversion of pain into peace, is one of the most profound indications that the tides are turning in your favor, that the balance is beginning to shift in your direction. It doesn't mean that you've forgotten the hurt or that it didn't matter. Rather, it signifies that the power the pain once held over you is dissolving, its ability to dictate your thoughts and emotions is diminishing. The sharp, jagged edges of your memories begin to soften, and the intense emotions that once consumed you become more manageable, less overwhelming. It's not that the pain is completely erased from your memory or from your emotional landscape, it's that it no longer defines you. It becomes part of your story, the chapter you can acknowledge without being trapped within its confines. You can look back on the experience without being consumed by anger, resentment, or despair. You can recognize the lessons you learned, the strength you gained, and the wisdom you acquired along the way. The journey from pain to peace often begins subtly, with small moments of relief that offer a glimpse of hope amidst the darkness. You might notice fleeting instances when the weight of the hurt momentarily lifts, even if only for a few precious moments. Perhaps it's during a leisurely walk in nature, surrounded by the beauty and tranquility of the natural world. Or perhaps it's during a heartfelt conversation with a trusted friend, someone who offers unwavering support and understanding. Or maybe it's during a quiet moment of reflection, when you allow yourself to simply be present in the moment, without judgment or self-criticism. These glimpses of peace are like cracks in a stormy sky, allowing beams of sunlight to break through the darkness and illuminate the path forward. Over time, these cracks widen, and the sunlight becomes more consistent, more sustaining, and more capable of dispelling the shadows that once dominated your emotional landscape. The storm doesn't completely disappear, but it no longer controls you. It simply becomes a part of your past, a reminder of your resilience and your ability to overcome adversity. This transformation isn't merely an emotional shift, it's also a powerful indication of justice at work. When you experience peace after enduring significant pain, it's not necessarily because the person who wronged you has made amends or because external circumstances have miraculously changed. It's because you are being restored from within, because your inner resources are being replenished, and because your spirit is being healed. It's as though life, in its infinite wisdom, is compensating for what was taken from you, replacing the pain and loss with something far more valuable and enduring. The peace you feel is a gift, a tangible manifestation of your resilience and your capacity for healing. It's a reminder that your healing matters, that your well-being is a priority, and that no wound, no matter how deep or agonizing, is beyond repair. The journey from pain to peace often brings with it a profound sense of clarity. The fog of anger, resentment, and confusion that once clouded your vision begins to dissipate, allowing you to see the situation, yourself, and the world around you from a new, more enlightened perspective. You might begin to recognize the hidden lessons embedded within the hurt, the opportunities for growth that emerged from the adversity. Perhaps the experience made you stronger, more compassionate, more resilient, or more self-aware. This newfound understanding doesn't justify what happened to you, but it does give meaning to the pain, transforming it into a source of wisdom and inspiration. And with meaning comes the ability to let go, to release the bitterness and resentment that have been holding you captive. Letting go is not about condoning the actions of those who hurt you, excusing their behavior, or minimizing the pain they caused. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of their influence, preventing their actions from continuing to dictate your thoughts, emotions, and choices. It's about reclaiming your power and taking control of your own narrative. As your pain transforms into peace, you reclaim your power, your autonomy, and your sense of self-worth. You are no longer a victim defined by the actions of others, but a survivor who has emerged stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. The person who wronged you no longer holds the ability to dictate how you feel, how you think, or how you live your life. This liberation is one of the greatest forms of justice, because it fundamentally shifts the balance of power. They lose their ability to control you, and you gain the freedom to live your life on your own terms. Another remarkable aspect of this transformation is the ripple effect it has on your surroundings. When you are consumed by pain, it often spills over into other areas of your life, negatively impacting your relationships, your work, and even your physical health. But as peace takes root within you, it begins to ripple outward, positively influencing your interactions, your perspective, and your overall energy. You might find that your relationships become more harmonious, your outlook more optimistic, and your energy more vibrant. Peace is contagious, and its presence within you can inspire and uplift those around you, creating a positive ripple effect in your community and in the world. This transformation also serves as a stark contrast to the person who wronged you. While you are actively moving towards peace and healing, they may still be entangled in the consequences of their actions, trapped in a cycle of negativity and struggling to find lasting fulfillment. Their life might remain turbulent, their relationships strained, and their sense of purpose elusive. This isn't about celebrating their struggles or gloating over their misfortunes, It's about recognizing the power of letting go, the transformative potential of forgiveness, and the profound difference between living in peace and living in turmoil. Your peace is a reflection of their diminishing ability to harm you. It's a tangible sign that justice is not just about external consequences but also about internal restoration, that healing and wholeness are possible even after experiencing deep pain. There's a quiet strength that comes with inner peace, a resilience that cannot be shaken by external forces. When you reach this place of inner tranquility, you realize that your peace is not dependent on others. It doesn't rely on apologies, restitution, or external validation. It's something you cultivate within yourself, nurtured by your conscious decision to release the pain, embrace the present moment, and focus on creating a better future. This strength becomes a shield, protecting you from future harm, and empowering you to live fully and authentically, regardless of the challenges that may come your way. The transformation of pain into peace is not just a personal victory, it's a testament to the inherent balance of life, the profound capacity for healing, and the unwavering power of the human spirit. It's proof that no matter how deeply you've been hurt, no matter how much you've lost, there is always the potential for restoration, for renewal, and for a brighter future. The person who wronged you may never fully understand the harm they caused or the pain they inflicted, but they no longer hold the power to control your emotions, your thoughts, or your destiny. Your peace is yours alone, a sanctuary built not on denial or avoidance, but on the courage to face your pain, the strength to overcome adversity, and the unwavering commitment to create a life filled with joy, purpose, and meaning. When your pain transforms into peace, it's more than just a sign of healing, it's a sign that the scales of justice are tipping in your favor, that the universe is conspiring to bring about good in your life, and that you are destined to thrive, despite the challenges you've faced. It's a reminder that while harm may have entered your life, it does not have to define it. Peace is the ultimate evidence that you are moving forward, leaving behind the shadows of the past, and stepping into the light of a future that is entirely your own, a future filled with hope, possibility, and unwavering joy. Their true intentions are exposed. Truth, like a persistent stream eroding even the most formidable rocks, is an undeniable force in the universe. It possesses a natural inclination to rise to the surface, no matter how deeply it is buried beneath layers of deception or how cleverly it is concealed behind facades of lies. When someone inflicts harm upon you, their motivations may initially remain shrouded in secrecy, concealed behind layers of manipulation, false pretenses, or carefully crafted narratives. They might smile to your face while secretly plotting against you, presenting themselves as trustworthy, kind, or even selfless, while their actions reveal a vastly different reality. They might attempt to control the narrative, portraying themselves as the victim and you as the perpetrator. However, time, like a skilled detective piecing together fragmented clues, has an uncanny ability to reveal what is hidden, to expose the underlying truths that have been carefully concealed. One of the most unmistakable signs that justice is actively unfolding in your favor is when the true intentions of those who have harmed you are exposed, brought to light for all to see. This revelation doesn't always occur in a dramatic or sensational manner. It might not involve a grand public unveiling or a shocking exposé that dominates headlines. Sometimes, it's a slow, steady unveiling, a gradual erosion of the false narratives that occurs through subtle actions, whispered truths, or unforeseen circumstances. People around them begin to notice subtle inconsistencies in their behavior, subtle discrepancies between their words and their actions, and subtle contradictions in the stories they tell. The carefully constructed facade they've worked so diligently to maintain begins to show cracks, revealing fleeting glimpses of their true character, their underlying motives, and their hidden intentions. While this unveiling might not be accompanied by dramatic fanfare or public accusations, it is often undeniable to those who are paying close attention, to those who have been keenly observing their behavior. The subtle signs are there, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. Why does this happen? It's not simply a matter of coincidence or random chance. When someone acts with malicious intent, when they intentionally deceive or manipulate others, they create a pattern of behavior that cannot be sustained indefinitely. Lies require constant effort to maintain, deception demands constant vigilance, and manipulation necessitates constant control. Over time, the strain of concealing their true nature, of maintaining the false narratives, becomes too great, and the truth begins to seep through the cracks, revealing itself in subtle but undeniable ways. It's as if the universe itself, guided by an inherent sense of balance and fairness, conspires to bring their intentions to light, ensuring that justice is served in ways they cannot anticipate or control. The exposure of their true intentions often serves as a profound form of vindication for you. If others have previously doubted your perspective, dismissed your concerns, or failed to recognize the harm they were causing, this moment of revelation can be incredibly validating, confirming your intuitions and affirming the validity of your experience. It's not about seeking revenge, reveling in their downfall, or gloating over their misfortunes. It's about seeing the truth acknowledged, about knowing that you weren't imagining the harm they were inflicting upon you. The light shines on their darkness, exposing their hidden motives and illuminating their true character. Suddenly, you're no longer the only one who sees them for who they truly are. Others begin to recognize the discrepancies between their words and their actions, the inconsistencies in their stories, and the underlying self-serving motives that drive their behavior. This exposure is also a turning point for those around them, those who were once charmed by their charisma, swayed by their influence, or fooled by their deceptions. As their true intentions are revealed, these individuals begin to distance themselves, questioning their motives, scrutinizing their actions, and re-evaluating the relationships they once held dear. The alliances they previously relied on begin to crumble, and the support they once enjoyed gradually dissipates. As the truth comes to light, the influence they once wielded over others diminishes, further isolating them and reducing their ability to cause additional harm. Their carefully constructed web of lies begins to unravel, exposing the underlying deceit and leaving them isolated and vulnerable. It's not that others suddenly become hostile, vengeful, or confrontational. It's that trust erodes in the face of undeniable evidence, and relationships built on false pretenses cannot withstand the weight of truth. In some cases, their exposure isn't just a social or personal reckoning, it can also have tangible consequences, impacting their professional lives, their financial stability, or their legal standing. Perhaps they lose a position of power, face legal or financial repercussions for their unethical behavior, or experience significant setbacks in their personal or professional endeavors. These outcomes aren't random occurrences or strokes of bad luck, they are the natural consequences of actions built on falsehoods, driven by self-serving motives, and sustained by deception. The foundation they built their life upon, a foundation constructed from lies and harm, was inherently unstable from the beginning. The exposure of their true intentions is simply the beginning of its inevitable collapse, a gradual but irreversible process that reveals the fragility of their power and the unsustainability of their actions. For you, this moment of exposure is not just about them, it's also about your liberation, your freedom from their control. When the truth comes to light, it often marks the end of their power over you. The false narratives they created, the manipulations they employed, and the limiting beliefs they imposed lose their potency, their ability to influence your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You no longer feel trapped in their version of events, burdened by their actions, or constrained by their expectations. Their exposure is a powerful reminder that truth always prevails, that what is done in the dark will eventually be brought to the light, and that you don't need to fight battles in the shadows when the light of truth will ultimately reveal everything. It's important to remember that this exposure doesn't require your intervention, your manipulation, or your active pursuit. You don't have to seek it out, force it to happen, or plot their downfall. The natural order of life, the inherent balance of the universe, ensures that deception cannot last forever, that what is hidden will eventually be revealed. The truth survives even the most determined attempts to suppress it, to conceal it, or to distort it. This revelation can also bring a profound sense of closure, allowing you to fully release the past and move forward without the burden of lingering doubt or uncertainty. When their true intentions are exposed, you are given the opportunity to release any lingering questions, any unresolved emotions, and any self-doubt that may have been plaguing you. You no longer have to question whether you were justified in feeling hurt, betrayed, or manipulated. The truth provides clarity, allowing you to understand their actions for what they truly were, and to leave them behind, freeing yourself from the need to dwell on the past. It's not about obsessing over what they did, reliving the pain, or seeking revenge. It's about understanding the situation, processing your emotions, and moving forward with a renewed sense of clarity, purpose, and inner strength. Their exposure is not just a sign of justice being served, it's a sign of balance being restored, a testament to the inherent order of the universe. When the truth comes to light, it disrupts the illusions they created, stripping away their ability to harm you further. It marks a shift in the dynamic between you, a turning point where their influence wanes and your strength grows exponentially. It's a reminder that no matter how deeply buried, no matter how skillfully concealed, the truth will always find its way to the surface. As you witness their true intentions being revealed, allow yourself to find peace in the process, trusting that justice is unfolding in ways that you may not fully understand, and that the universe is working on your behalf. Let this moment of revelation remind you that justice operates on a level far beyond what we can see, comprehend, or control. You don't need to seek retribution, plot their downfall, or dwell on their misfortunes. The exposure of their intentions is enough. It's the universe's way of affirming that no harm goes unnoticed, that every action has a consequence, and that truth, in the end, always prevails. Opportunities for growth and restoration appear in your life. Pain, in its rawest form, possesses a peculiar ability to make us feel utterly stuck, as though time itself has ground to a halt, and the hurt we carry will forever define our existence. When someone deliberately wrongs you, whether through acts of betrayal, manipulation, or abuse, it can often feel as though they've stolen something precious from you, your peace of mind, your sense of self-worth, your confidence in others, or even your fundamental sense of direction in life. The weight of this loss can feel overwhelming, making it difficult to envision a future free from the shadow of their actions. However, life is rarely a linear progression, a straight path from one point to another. Instead, it's a complex, cyclical journey, filled with twists and turns, ups and downs, and unexpected detours. Just as the initial pain they caused can feel all-consuming and insurmountable, it also creates the fertile ground for something truly extraordinary, growth and restoration. One of the most unmistakable signs that justice is actively unfolding in your favor is when new and unexpected opportunities begin to appear in your life. These aren't mere coincidences or random strokes of luck. They are carefully orchestrated moments, divinely designed to help you rebuild what was broken, regain what was lost, and rise to a level even higher than where you were before the harm occurred. These opportunities often manifest when you least expect them, in ways that may initially seem subtle or insignificant. But make no mistake, they are an integral part of the universe's grand design, its way of restoring balance, replacing what was unjustly taken from you with something far more valuable and enduring. Imagine this scenario: you've been wronged, deeply and profoundly, and for a while, it feels as though you're trapped in a relentless cycle of hurt, anger, and resentment. You struggle to break free from the negative emotions, constantly replaying the events in your mind and feeling powerless to change the situation. But then, almost out of the blue, something shifts, a new door opens, a chance encounter occurs, and you find yourself presented with an unexpected opportunity. Perhaps it's a chance to advance in your career, to take on a new role that challenges and excites you. Perhaps it's a chance to reconnect with an old friend, someone who offers unwavering support and unconditional love. Perhaps it's a chance to discover a hidden talent within yourself, to pursue a passion you've always dreamed of exploring. These moments are not accidental, they are a direct result of the resilience, strength, and unwavering spirit you've cultivated while enduring the challenges inflicted upon you. They are life's way of saying, you are ready to move forward. You have learned the lessons you needed to learn. Now it's time to embrace new possibilities and create a brighter future for yourself. These opportunities for growth often arise in the very areas of your life where you felt the most significant loss, where the harm was most keenly felt. If someone caused you to doubt your abilities, to question your worth, or to lose confidence in your skills, you might suddenly find yourself presented with a chance to prove to yourself just how capable you truly are. Perhaps you're offered a project that requires you to step outside of your comfort zone, to push yourself to your limits, and to demonstrate your expertise in a way you never thought possible. If someone left you feeling isolated, alone, and unsupported, you may encounter new people who genuinely value you, appreciate you for who you are, and offer unwavering support and encouragement. Perhaps you're invited to join a new community, to participate in a meaningful project, or to connect with like-minded individuals who share your passions and values. If someone disrupted your plans, derailed your goals, or took you off course, you may discover a new path that is even more fulfilling, more meaningful, and more aligned with your true purpose than the one you originally envisioned. These moments are not just about replacing what was lost, they are about exceeding it, about surpassing your previous limitations, and about creating a life that is even richer, more fulfilling, and more joyful than you ever imagined. Restoration isn't simply about regaining what was taken, it's about transforming the experience of loss into an opportunity for growth, for expansion, and for creating a life that is even better than it was before. But restoration isn't just about external opportunities, it's also about the profound internal shifts that take place within you as you navigate the challenges and embrace the possibilities that life presents. You may find yourself developing a deeper sense of self-worth, a clearer understanding of your purpose, renewed faith in your ability to overcome adversity, and a more profound appreciation for the beauty and resilience of the human spirit. These internal changes are just as significant, if not more so, than the external opportunities, because they lay the foundation for lasting growth, genuine happiness, and unwavering self-confidence. They allow you to approach life with a sense of inner peace, knowing that you are not defined by the harm others have tried to inflict upon you, but by the strength, resilience, and wisdom you have cultivated within yourself. One of the most remarkable aspects of these opportunities is that they often come without your direct pursuit, without your relentless searching, or without your desperate attempts to control the outcome. They seem to find you at just the right moment, in just the right way, as if guided by an unseen force, orchestrated by a divine hand. This doesn't mean you should passively wait for opportunities to fall into your lap, resigning yourself to a life of inaction. It means that as you focus on healing, as you commit to personal growth, and as you maintain a positive outlook, life aligns in ways that bring these opportunities into your path, creating serendipitous encounters and opening doors that you never knew existed. The very act of choosing growth over bitterness, of embracing hope over despair, and of focusing on the future rather than dwelling on the past creates a space for restoration to occur, inviting new possibilities into your life. It's also worth noting that these opportunities may not always appear as blessings at first glance. Sometimes, they come disguised as challenges, as changes that force you out of your comfort zone, as situations that require you to confront your fears and push yourself to your limits. They might involve taking a risk, making a difficult decision, or stepping into the unknown. But as you embrace these challenges, as you face your fears head-on, and as you venture into uncharted territory, you begin to see their true value, their hidden potential, and their transformative power. Perhaps a difficult new project at work helps you uncover a skill you didn't know you possessed, the talent that allows you to excel in your career and achieve new levels of success. Or maybe an unexpected move to a new city introduces you to people who inspire you, uplift you, and challenge you to become the best version of yourself. These opportunities are designed not just to restore what was lost, but to elevate you to a level you might not have reached otherwise, to transform you into a person who is stronger, wiser, more compassionate, and more resilient than you ever imagined possible. As you embrace these opportunities, you may also notice a profound shift in your perspective, a subtle but significant change in the way you view the world. The pain that once felt so all-consuming, so overwhelming, and so defining begins to fade into the background, replaced by a sense of possibility, a sense of hope, and a sense of excitement about the future. You start to see the wrongs you endured, not as permanent scars that will forever mar your existence, but as stepping stones, as challenges that helped you to grow, to learn, and to evolve into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate version of yourself. This isn't to diminish the pain you experienced or to minimize the harm that was done to you, it's to highlight the incredible capacity for growth, the remarkable power of resilience, and the unwavering potential for transformation that comes from overcoming adversity. These moments of growth and restoration are also a powerful reminder that life doesn't stop, that the universe doesn't cease to function, and that your potential isn't limited because of someone else's actions. No matter how much they try to hold you back, to diminish you, or to prevent you from achieving your goals, the universe continues to move forward, creating new opportunities for you to thrive, to flourish, and to fulfill your purpose. Their attempts to harm you, to derail you, or to control you do not define your future. Your response to those actions, your choices in the face of adversity, and your unwavering commitment to growth and restoration are what truly shape your destiny. By choosing to seize these opportunities, by embracing the challenges they present, and by focusing on creating a brighter future, you reclaim your power, you rewrite your story, and you prove that no one can ever take away your ability to grow, to succeed, and to become everything you were meant to be. Finally, these opportunities often serve as a quiet but undeniable sign that justice is actively at work in your life. While those who wronged you may remain entangled in their own consequences, trapped in a cycle of negativity, or struggling to find lasting fulfillment, you are being lifted into a new chapter of your life, a chapter filled with hope, possibility, and boundless potential. Their actions, though painful and damaging, have no power to limit your future, no ability to define your worth, and no authority to dictate your destiny. Instead, they become the catalyst for a transformative journey, allowing you to achieve heights you might never have imagined, to experience joy you never thought possible, and to create a life that is truly extraordinary. As opportunities for growth and restoration appear in your life, embrace them fully, step into them with courage, and trust that you are being guided towards a brighter future. They are not random events, they are signs that the balance is shifting in your favor, that the universe is working on your behalf, and that you are destined to thrive. They are proof that even in the face of profound hurt, devastating loss, and seemingly insurmountable challenges, life has a way of creating beauty, fostering resilience, and opening up new possibilities. Most importantly, they are a testament to your inner strength, your unwavering spirit, and the unshakable truth that no harm, no injustice, and no act of cruelty can ultimately hold you back from becoming everything you were meant to be. They experience the pain they inflicted. Life, in its infinite complexity, operates according to a principle of balance, an unwavering law that ensures every action, whether intentional or unintentional, generates a corresponding consequence. One of the most compelling and undeniable signs of this balance at play is when those who have consciously and deliberately hurt you find themselves navigating the very same pain, the very same challenges, and the very same difficulties they once inflicted upon you. It's not something you actively orchestrate, intentionally seek out, or even consciously desire, yet it unfolds organically, in ways that often feel almost divinely poetic. This isn't about personal vengeance, reveling in their suffering, or gloating over their misfortune. It's about recognizing the natural order of actions and consequences, the inherent tendency of life to restore equilibrium, and the profound wisdom embedded within the universal law of cause and effect. When someone intentionally harms another, whether through acts of betrayal, manipulation, or abuse, they release a certain type of energy into the world, a negative force that is inherently destabilizing and disruptive. This energy doesn't simply dissipate or vanish without a trace, it lingers, it reverberates, and it has a way of finding its way back to its source, often amplified and transformed. You may not witness this return immediately. In fact, it might take weeks, months, or even years for the consequences of their actions to fully manifest. But eventually, the actions they took, the choices they made, and the harm they inflicted come full circle, creating a situation where they must confront the very pain they once caused. This isn't karma in the simplistic sense of tit for tat, a direct, immediate, and predictable retribution. It's far more nuanced, more complex, and more profound than that. It's the principle that life, in its intricate wisdom, teaches everyone the lessons they need to learn, often by placing them in the very same situations they created for others, allowing them to experience the pain and suffering they inflicted firsthand. They are given an opportunity to feel the weight of their choices, not as a form of external punishment, but as a mirror reflecting their behavior, their motives, and their impact on others. Imagine, for instance, someone who betrayed your trust, spreading false rumors about you, damaging your reputation, and leaving you to grapple with feelings of abandonment, rejection, and self-doubt. Over time, you might observe that they, too, are betrayed by someone they trusted deeply, someone they relied on for support, someone they believed to be loyal. It may not happen in the exact same way, the circumstances might be different, but the core emotions they experience, the confusion, the hurt, the anger, and the deep sense of loss closely mirror what they once caused you to feel. Life, in its mysterious and often unpredictable way, places them in a situation where they must confront the very pain they inflicted upon you, giving them a first-hand experience of the consequences of their actions. It's as if the universe is saying, now that you know how it feels, now that you understand the impact of your choices, what will you do differently? Will you learn from this experience, or will you continue to perpetuate the cycle of harm? This process isn't primarily about revenge, retribution, or inflicting suffering on others. It's about fostering awareness, promoting accountability, and providing an opportunity for growth. Experiencing the pain they caused offers them a chance to reflect on their behavior, to understand the ripple effect of their choices, and to develop empathy for those they have wronged. Some may resist this lesson, clinging to their justifications, blaming others for their misfortunes, and refusing to acknowledge the connection between their actions and the consequences they are now facing. But for those who are open to introspection, who are willing to confront their flaws, and who are genuinely seeking to improve, this can be a pivotal moment, a turning point that leads to profound personal transformation. It forces them to confront their behavior, to acknowledge the harm they've caused, to understand the impact of their choices, and perhaps even to make amends, not because they are forced to do so, but because they genuinely recognize the pain they've inflicted and desire to make things right. The beauty of this natural balancing act is that it unfolds independently of your involvement, your desires, or your intentions. You don't have to actively seek it out, deliberately orchestrate it, or consciously wish ill upon them. You simply continue to focus on your own healing, your own growth, and your own journey, trusting that the universe will take care of the rest. Their experience of pain is not your victory to celebrate, your opportunity to gloat, or your excuse to seek revenge. It's a reminder that life has a way of teaching us all in its own time, in its own way, and often through the very same experiences we have inflicted upon others. Often, their experience of pain reveals their true character, their underlying values, and their capacity for growth. How they respond to the adversity they face, the challenges they encounter, and the pain they endure can tell you a great deal about who they truly are as individuals. Some may use the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become more empathetic and understanding human beings. Others may spiral further into bitterness, resentment, and self-pity, refusing to learn from their mistakes, perpetuating the cycle of harm, and ultimately isolating themselves from others. Either way, their journey is no longer your burden to carry, their choices are no longer your responsibility, and their lessons are no longer your